two consecutive first-round NFL quarterbacks in the late Dwayne Haskins and Justin Fields. CJ Stroud most undoubtedly will be the next in line. While NIL has taken over this sport and has become a huge component in the recruiting of players, both on the high school level and then also the possible recruitment of players as they enter the transfer portal, we now have what's being talked about as a possible other facet of this, and that's keeping guys around for an extra year. And I don't know that this is anything that anybody should lay money on, but there is talk out there about CJ Stroud possibly hanging around for another year if the NIL money matches or comes within some kind of range that he determines worthwhile.
Yeah, this is a tough one to speculate on because look, the CJ Stroud hasn't made a decision. We're recording this on Friday, January 13th, and I believe they have until the 16th draft eligible players to make their decision. Almost every other Ohio State player who there was much question about has made an announcement, and CJ Stroud seemed like a guy that would be one of the first to make the announcement, right? And so obviously that leads to speculation. Ohio State also put out a tweet tagging all of the guys that are coming back with, I believe it said like, there seems to be a trend here or something, and people jumped all over that. I don't know for sure what CJ Stroud is doing. I don't know if he is just waiting for the graphic to be made to announce that he's going pro, if he really is giving consideration to coming back. I think that it would be mind-blowing to think of a guy that is a two-time Heisman Trophy finalist and has accomplished what he has accomplished individually and is expected to be a top five-ish pick coming back. But you mentioned there is the NIL component, which CJ Stroud has already benefited from in being the Ohio State quarterback. And I imagine there are those out there that have the means that are Ohio State fans that could offer up the money to get him comfortable enough to play another year of college football. I think if he really is considering coming back, I imagine that the legacy play, something we've talked about a lot, would be part of it. Remember, CJ has not beaten Michigan, and he would be the first quarterback. Well, he is the first quarterback since Steve Belisari to lose back-to-back games to the Ohio State's rivals. But if he were to come back another year, he would get an opportunity to kind of erase that a little bit next year in Ann Arbor. He's not played in a Big Ten championship game. That would be another thing that he could come back. And obviously the loss to Georgia, where Ohio State was so close, and you saw the best of CJ Stroud, maybe he sees a path to, if I come back, we can take it a step further and get to the national championship game. Obviously, there is a risk if you're CJ Stroud and you come back. The NFL draft stock probably isn't going to change too much. Now, if he plays every game next season, assuming he does come back in this scenario, like he played against Georgia, maybe he is unquestionably the number one pick next year. There obviously will be a number of other guys in that draft class, Caleb Williams from USC, guys like that they could be a part of it. So that's something to consider. But he if he does decide to come back, and CJ has always kind of done things a little bit differently than your average college football player, it would set a new trend for a guy, a quarterback specifically, that is this highly regarded and is almost assuredly a top 5 pick to return to college football. And I would be very interested to hear after the fact, if this is in fact the case, what his thought process was, which I'm sure if he does come back, we'll get to talk to him about. And if he doesn't, I would also like to hear what took so long on this, because it does seem, it is odd. Usually these guys that are such locks to be high draft picks announced within a couple of days of the season ending. I think Alabama had guys announcing the day after they played their bowl game. So yeah, I think there will be a lot to ask CJ the next time he talks, whether that's over at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center as a returning fourth-year Buckeye, or at the draft combine when he speaks to media ahead of his workouts there. It's certainly going to be interesting either way.